Now that I've spent some time going over the fact that physical existence is a natural and good part of what God created, I also want to take a moment to examine some of the faulty assumptions that even supposedly Bible-believing Christians bring when they don't have a fully biblically informed worldview just yet. Today, I'm going to try to answer a question that people wave off and simply assume that the Bible never gives an answer for. And that's thankfully not the case. Here's the question. Is heaven a material or non-material place? Here's another one related to it. If we believe in the bodily resurrection and the ascension of Jesus into heaven, where is Jesus now? Hey, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim. I'm a pastor, author, and entrepreneur. And on this channel, we discuss how to live our lives in light of what the Bible really says about eternity. So if you want to live your life in constant amazement at God's goodness, His grace, and the beauty of His plans for the future, then you're in the right place. So give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, or you can wait until the end of the video and make me earn it. So the question is heaven a physical or non-material place? And the answer, the biblical answer, this might be surprising to some of you, is that of course heaven is a spiritual place, but it is also a physically composed place. Jesus is in heaven right now. We believe in the bodily resurrection and the heavenly ascension. Heaven and earth are not far away from each other. Heaven is not a strictly material realm, and earth is not a strictly material realm. That's not the case at all. This isn't brand new to Jesus either. It didn't just start when he was resurrected and then ascended. In the temple in Jerusalem and the tabernacle before that, they believed that heaven and earth were there together. It wasn't just treated as if you were in heaven, you were in heaven. God's space came to overlap with the human space, meaning that there's always a little bit of heaven in earth, and there was always a little bit of earth in heaven. So of course, when Jesus ascends in Acts chapter 1, it makes perfect sense. Frankly, even if the rest of the Bible didn't say anything, but the resurrection narratives did show that after he ascended, his physical body went up with him into heaven, then there would at least be that much physicality in heaven, meaning they're not mutually exclusive. I'm sorry if that blows up your categories, but maybe you need new categories. Welcome, I think you're in the right place. There's this whole school of thought in biblical studies that if something is physical, then it can't be spiritual. And if it's spiritual, then it can't be physical. So when you read about things like thrones in heaven and existing spiritual beings with bodies that fill that space, you're using the language of space-time, but you must interpret it. This is what they'll say. You must interpret it as though it's not literal, that it's just like an anthropomorphism, or that it's a figure of speech. If fire can come down from heaven, or physically visible angels can manifest in front of humans and you can visually see them, then it just can't be a mental or spiritual space alone. The Bible is inviting us to rethink our entire cosmology. Not only is God's plan for eternity physical and spiritual in nature, but God's own space is physical and spiritual in nature. In our last video, we were talking a little bit about the Platonic worldview that has snuck into the church. Platonism, in a nutshell, is this very Greek idea that physical stuff is bad and spiritual stuff is good, and ne'er the twain shall meet. The Greek idea is that we still have in our minds, as being part of the post-Enlightenment West, are fundamentally misconceived according to the scriptures. So it's good to be able to identify those things so that we can uproot them in favor of better categories. We don't have to enslave ourselves to a Platonic view of heaven. A body is not out of place there. It's not poetic or figurative language to say that there is physicality there. There is, of course, physicality in God's realm. He made it. He called it good. He's rather fond of it, and he intends to remake it again. This is so important because we're coming up to Easter, and this is a time of the year, every year, when Christians should be remembering what the hope of Christianity is. The hope of Christianity is not just to go to heaven when you die as some purely spiritual place up above. Much more interesting, much more wonderful is that Christianity promises the renewal of the physicality of the entire universe. For any human that finds themselves in Christ, their eternal future is not disembodied bliss singing to God face to face in a non-material heaven forever. Frankly, I don't even know what face to face would mean in a non-material heaven, but that's beside the point. The hope of Christianity, if it means anything at all, is the triumphal entry of a new heavens and a new earth, a renewed physicality, resurrected bodies, humans coming back to life with a glorified body, the same kind that Jesus had. I say had, but it's also the kind that he has now in heaven. We anticipate the renewal of the entire earth that God made and called good, and its reunification with God's own space, according to Revelation 21 and 22, the last two chapters of the Bible. Frankly, even from the very beginning, when God was walking with Adam and Eve in the cool of the garden in chapters 1 and 2 of Genesis, this was clearly already God's plan. So whenever you hear the word resurrection, don't think that it just means going to heaven when you die. Your hope is both that your body will be raised and glorified like Jesus's body was on Easter, and that God will bring the life of heaven back to earth, to remake the earth and to cleanse it from all of the brokenness and sin. One of the things I love most about C.S. Lewis's work is that he describes heaven and God's space as more solid and more real. Spoiler alert for those of you who have not read the Chronicles of Narnia and plan to, but at the end, when you read the last battle, and the battle is over and Aslan has won and he's recreating the world, the children are there, and when they see it, it is more real. It's more solid. It feels more substantive and weighty. And that's what we should think of heaven. It's not less real than the earth, and it's not less physical than the earth. It's more real and it's more physical. And what we really need, if we're being honest, is a little bit more heaven here on earth. We'll talk about this more in future videos. But if you're new to this way of talking about eternity in heaven, I've got a playlist right up here that you can go ahead and start watching right now that'll help you to really get your feet under you and understand what it is I'm discussing. And as always, if you're trying to dive deeper, you can visit us at our website at theoverlap.life, where you can buy the book, join one of our challenges, get some one-on-one coaching, even get on the phone with me. Go ahead and start those videos up there in the top left corner, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this new for you? Is this different? What do you think? Further up and further in. Thanks for watching.